So this is my dad, Mike, and well, here's a conversation that we had. Alright, howdy everybody, welcome back to Insight number 18. Today we have a guest with us, otherwise known as the Michael Chalmers. How you going, Dad?
Good, bud. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
And how's your morning been?
Yeah, good. Nice and chill. Nice cup of tea.
Get a haircut?
Yeah, a bit sexy, you reckon, eh?
So this is our second take, because the first attempt we were recording for 5 minutes and I forgot to turn the microphone on.
We'll do it even better this time.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about today a couple of different things. Just want to have a chat with you. And yeah, talking about our passions and more specifically your priorities, because that's something that I've always kind of wanted to discuss in these insights, and it's I think something that I've thought about for quite a while now, actually, like 2 or 3 years, just a lot about priorities and whether you should really order out what you consider most important in your life and that'll help you. And so I want to hear your opinion on it. And so, well, please tell me about what you're most passionate about right now, and how about you? Just leave it at that for now.
So a few different things. Family is really important to me now. It's probably at the top of my list. And the funny thing is your priorities change. And years ago, I probably didn't make quite as much time for family. So I was busy running the business and I was passionate about my business called Add Value. And I spent lots of time there and I wasn't quite as involved. I was always, I hoped, I think, a good dad, but I wasn't quite as involved with you guys. Whereas these days, I've really realized that, like being close to family is sort of the most important thing. And so I'm really lucky because I work from home and I'm flexible. So I get to be very involved with you guys and I love it. So I'm very passionate about family. And I think as you get older, maybe you get to appreciate that more. I'm passionate about the things I do. So as you know, I do a few different things.
Please tell us.
And one of them is called Cafe Outside the Square, as you know, which is a not-for-profit cafe in the city that I opened about 6 months ago with a partner, Tim. And the whole idea of that cafe is to help some people who are less fortunate than us. And I think what happens again is you get a bit older, you realise it's crikey, we're lucky living in little old Adelaide and got my business and we're sort of comfortable and we're lucky. There's all these people out there aren't as fortunate as us. And I think what's happened as I've got older, I realised, I really want to make a difference and see if I can help some people. So I'm really passionate about the cafe and what we're trying to do there to try and provide some opportunities to homeless people and others, and loving it. So that's exciting. And then
you have so many things on the go.
Yeah, then so I run my businesses, as you know, biologists, which is helping people negotiate better deals, and I love that. And mate, the whole point about that is it's fun and it's just playing to my strengths.
What's the premise of the business?
So biologists are basically seeing if we can help people save money. So see if we can negotiate a better deal, and if we save the money,
on almost anything. On
anything at all. But I deal with businesses, so helping businesses negotiate better deals on all their costs. And it's really simple. I only charge them $1 if I save them money. So if I don't save them anything, I don't charge anything. If I save them money, I say, listen, this is how much I save for you. I'll take half, you take half. Nice and easy. So nice, simple model. And what that does is plays to my strengths. So you talk about passion. So I've realised I've got older. I've realised the things I'm good at and the things I really love doing. So I love interacting with people. I love making deals. I love getting things done. I love organising things. I love negotiating things. I don't particularly like having lots of staff and lots of headaches and other. So what I've recognised is this model gives me the things I love doing and that I'm good at. And so that's why it works really, because I reckon in life, if you do things you're good at and things you love, then frankly, that's most of the battle. And guess what? It works well because it is all about, doing, those things. So I love biologists. I also do some property development, again, negotiating deals, putting together projects. And again, I love just the variety of that. So one of the things in my life that I'm passionate about is having variety. I get bored if I'm just doing the same things. So between the cafe and biologists and property, and I do lots of mentoring of young people as well. And I love the mentoring where I catch up and just talk and help people. There might be people running businesses or other people.
It's so amazing, but I can never fathom how you don't get so overwhelmed and stressed by just having so much on the go at once. I go and check your phone and I look at your text messages. Literally, if I was to show you his phone right now, I reckon what's the time right now? 9:38 a.m. I reckon he would have talked to at least 15 people by now. It's just absurd about how many messages, how many different people you're talking to at once, and on your emails and stuff.
So it's funny. So mate, everyone's different and everyone's good at different things, and I'm good at managing lots of things. And I guess to be honest, I thrive on it. I like to have a lot going on. It keeps my brain stimulated.
I can't do that.
I've got good mental energy, but as you know, mate, when I was younger, I had some issues, anxiety issues and things when I was a bit younger, and I learned to deal with those, and I learned meditation, and I had help with it. And so frankly, it's funny how and so weakness has become a strength. So I used to get very stressed about those sorts of things, and then one of the things I learned with all those things is if I kept really organized and on top of things, it helped to reduce my stress. So now I'm super organized, and actually I can juggle a million balls and not get stressed because I know I've got them all under control, and actually I really thrive on it. But again, we evolve as we go. So I've grown now, so I can handle a lot more. Mate, at your age, I couldn't do any of that stuff. I was just lying in bed all bloody day and useless and unmotivated. And so mate, we grow and we change. But I'm lucky enough to do lots of things I'm passionate about. And mate, I recognise now that I'm 50 years old, it's like you only get one crack at it. And frankly, I want to just make sure I keep doing the things that are important to me and that make me happy, because who cares about what other people think? And you could get hit by a bus.
I think I've taken a lot of inspiration from that. I reckon I've referenced you in these insights. You don't watch all of them, but I reckon I've referenced you more than anyone. And talking about kind of lessons and stuff, and I'll say, oh yeah, so I was talking to Dad about this.
No, I appreciate it. And you get something from everyone, and obviously you get lots from Mum and then other people in your life. So the whole point is, and one of the things I'm also passionate about is learning. So what I didn't say, actually, there you go, that's my other thing. The most important thing in my life, so there you go, that's what I'm passionate about. The thing that I value more than anything else in my life is learning. So I love, and when I say learning, getting better at things. So self-improvement. So my favourite thing in life is saying, what are the things I like about myself? What are the things I don't like about myself? What are the things I'm insecure about? What are the things I'm scared of? What are the things I need to know more about? And getting better and learning. So that's the thing that drives me in every aspect, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's spiritual, that's the thing that I get out of bed for. And my favorite thing in the world is actually being able to think about something and look at it and think, wow, I've got better at that than I used to. And it might be on any level, but I love being able to sort of look and say, gee, I've made progress. I absolutely love that. And that's
for sure. I've taken so much of that into my life without even thinking about it. But I reckon since like year 9 and year 10, I think that's just what you've kind of brought down onto me and Rachel a lot. You've kind of reiterated that to us.
Oh, as I say, you guys are much more impressive than I was at that age. But as I've got older, and I'm a great believer in the saying, you can't do anything twice as well overnight, but you can do things 1% better. And if I do things 1% better each day, it actually only takes me 63 days to be doing things twice as well. So I'm a great little bit. So there you go. There's a funny little maths equation, but that's true.
I get it.
So if I do things, if I improve 1% every day because of compounding interest, it doesn't take 100 days to get twice as good. It only takes 63 days. So every time I keep doing things 1% better in 63 days time, I'm doing them twice as well. So I'm a great believer you can't do anything massively improved overnight, but you just keep chipping away and doing all the little things. And that's my favourite thing. And you see, I'm always making little notes and recording things because I'm like anything that I think about that I think I can use or do better with it, I want to remember it so I can do something with it. So I'm passionate about that.
Kind of on that note as well, I just want to talk about, with the cafe. I remember it just all came so quickly. It was just remarkable. We're sitting down in Ginger's one day in a cafe on Goodwood Road. It was me, you and Rachel, and we were just discussing. I remember you just bringing it up, like posing the idea. I hadn't even heard of it before. That I'm thinking of maybe setting up a not-for-profit cafe or like just a little cafe with my mate. I just thought about it a little bit, and maybe you'd thought about it far more than you were saying, but to me, it seemed like a very long shot, and it would take like a couple of years or like even longer than that. I'm not sure it would actually happen at all. I think we were both quite skeptical. And then within like 5 to 6 months' time, I'm not sure, it felt at least that long. Yeah, it was very quick. It just came to fruition like that, and everything was all set up, and I think that's something that I most admire about you. I know we're paying each other a lot of compliments, but I think that's something I most amazes me, is that just how quickly you can turn these ideas in your head, these just long shots which just seem so rough and so out of reach into fruition so quickly. And that takes a lot of courage, and it was just so bold. And it's like, I think that's something I really want to
tell you. What's really interesting, mate, is quite a few years ago, I would look at other people. In fact, I've got a friend in a business group I'm in. He talked about this idea he had for this project. The next thing he's doing, I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's so cool and that's ballsy. And actually, mate, I've always been I take risks, but I've always been fairly calculating and careful. And so I've sort of looked at things and thought, only if it makes perfect sense logically. And with this cafe, it was a passion project, and it was never going to be purely sort of logical. It had to be like just on emotion and on like, what are we going to be able to help people do? And the funny thing is, so I look at it now and I'm so pleased. And to be honest, I'm proud of myself I was able to do it, because actually quite a few years ago, this is a good example of getting better at things and growing. I wasn't capable of making that sort of decision. So this time I've just jumped in, and I think what happens is as you get a bit older, you realise that you only get one crack at things. So I guess I've realised, I'm 50 now, what are the things that are important to me? And it's like, what's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work, so what? We've tried to help some people, we've made a difference.
Do you get So like, yeah, this is what do you get scared at all that everything might not
I
work
do.
out?
To be honest with you, it's quite stressful with the cafe because I'm someone, I really want things to be as good as they can be, and it's a whole new thing, and so it's a whole new learning curve, and so it's all, we're making it up as we go, and yeah, it is stressful. And the funny thing is though, it's not as much, I'm not scared of failing as such, but I think there's a sort of real sense of personal investment in it, and we really want it to work, and so the dollars and cents don't matter as much to me, but it's more the sense of we really want this thing to work, and we put so much time and energy into it. So yeah, so it can be stressful, to be honest with you. And the thing, one of my favourite sayings, mate, is, you know, if you don't get outside of your comfort zone, well, guess what? Then you're always comfortable, you know. So I've deliberately put myself outside my comfort zone. Guess what? It's a bit scary out there, but I knew it was, you know. Like, it's like when I made that decision, I was willing to do that, and correct, and the rewards outweigh the stresses and the costs and what have you. So it's just one of those things, you've just got to take it on, and then just try and make it happen. So yeah, but in life, if you make those big, bold decisions, yeah, most people have fear and doubt, and doubt's a really important part of life, you know. Like, frankly, if you haven't got doubt, then you're not growing, you know. So you've got to sort of work your way through it. And so yeah, so I've just decided, as I say, I only get one chance, so I want to be doing the things that matter to me. So
yeah, I think it's awesome. All right, well, and kind of similarly, yeah, I know you just touched on before the fact about how you've changed a lot since you were younger, as everyone does. Where do you think your priorities, when you were my age, where do you think your priorities lay? You don't have to like just diss yourself or...
Sure. So your age, yeah, to be honest, I didn't have a clear sense of priorities back at your age. So no, and I'm not just saying it, but you and Rachel are much more disciplined, self-motivated. I sort of had some sense that maybe I liked selling things, and I didn't mind raising money and this, that, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do at school. I sort of had this vague sense of maybe businessy sort of stuff. But I wasn't really, and to be honest, mate, at your age, as I discovered later, I was actually pretty insecure about things. And I didn't discover that into my 20s until I had some like anxiety issues and things that I worked through that really helped me to get to understand better who I was.
It's just I always find it so difficult to possibly fathom how you had anxiety of all people.
Yeah.
Because you're such a, I'm not sure if you know Dad, but he's just such a confident, outgoing person who seems so sure of himself, but to hear that, like,
yeah, that's
you were
interesting.
also insecure.
That's interesting. So yeah, and also what's on the outside and what's on the inside aren't always the same. So even right at the moment in my life, as I said to you, I'm still a bit anxious with the cafe and this and that. We're about to go overseas, as you know, for a couple of months, which is exciting, but I'm like, wow, I'm leaving that behind, and I really want to make sure it's all going well, and da. So no, the truth be told, yeah, we all have our different challenges, and actually dealing with those issues when I was in my 20s is the most important thing that's happened in my life, and I've told you about that, because frankly, I feel like my life has really become real after that, because I've got to know who I really am and what's important to me, and I've got to understand better, I guess, in terms of having priorities and what have you. So I guess I started getting more confidence in myself to think, right, what is important to me and what are the things I want to achieve? Back before then, I probably didn't really think like that. So at your age, so my 20s, I guess my priorities were about, I started thinking about trying to start forming some sort of business or something and trying to make some money. And I guess hopefully meeting someone was also a priority. I thought it'd be quite nice to be with someone. And then the funny thing is, as you know, I was in the corporate world, and I made this decision to leave the corporate world because I just decided I didn't like the big company and all the bullshit, the bureaucracy, and I thought I just want to get out and do something different, and I don't know what. And then the funny thing is, it's funny how it happens in life. I made this big, bold decision back then. Within 2 weeks, I literally 2 weeks, I meet Alison, your mum and my future wife. I hadn't had a partner, a girlfriend for years, and all of a sudden there's Alison. Within another few weeks, I go on this funny old game show, Wheel of Fortune, and I win $60,000 worth of stuff. And guess what?
It makes it sound like a fluke. He makes it sound like a fluke. But I guarantee you had this plan in your head to go on that game show.
Yeah, well, I decided.
I
decided it was the only thing I could do because I hadn't really saved any money.
Fortune,
like most young fellas, I'd pissed all my money against a wall. So I decided that I needed a bit of money behind me so I didn't go rushing back to another job because I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what, so I needed a bit of a buffer. So I decided, listen, if I go on Wheel of Fortune, it's like maybe, that's the only way I can get some, a free lunch. So I thought, well, let's try my chances. And one way or another, I got on there and they said it's going to take years. And I kept ringing this guy saying, mate, you need me on the show, you need me on the show. And he was like, Mike, I'm like, Justin, you need me on, I'm going to be good, mate, I'm going to win, you need me on. And eventually he rings me back a few weeks later, he's like, righto, Chalmers, you're coming on the show. We've got this special week, Beatles celebration. It's a Beatles thing, releasing all this old music of theirs that hasn't been found before, and for 1 week only, it's going to be really colourful and this, that. And I think really what he was saying to me is, Mike, you're a bit full of shit. We think your personality will suit this week because you're a bit colourful character. Yeah. Anyway, they had this red MG, and I won't tell the whole long story here, but the rest is history. the MG was only on for the 1 week, and on the one night I came on, red MG sports car. Normally I have this boring old grey Ford Festiva, but this beautiful sports car for 1 week only. I come on the Friday of that 1 week, for one night only, and I win it, and then I win $60,000 worth of prizes, and that ended up
such a kickstart.
Correct. So I meet Alison. A few weeks later, going to this game show, this happens for me. All of a sudden, it gives me the kickstart I needed to be able to do other things. Then next little thing, along comes an opportunity that ends up being the start of my next business. And it's like, wow, that all came from that one bold decision to say, this, I'm going to stop doing this and start doing that. And
although, like I said, although it comes off as a fluke, I feel like that was so calculated.
Yeah, well, you've got to take your chances. And one of the things, I always talk about is, if you don't knock on the door, it doesn't open, so you've got to put yourself in position. But I'm also a great believer. Sometimes you've just got to have faith in yourself, and the universe opens the doors at the right time. So for me, guess what? Alison, the game show, my business, it's all the foundations of my future life, all from taking one bold decision that was pretty scary at the time. And I remember my dad saying, "You're crazy. What are you doing, Mike? You got this corporate job. What are you doing, you idiot?" But you've got to back yourself that you know what you want out of your life. So, but there's a bit of luck as well. So I've been fortunate. I've had some good luck as well. So. Yeah.
Next thing that I kind of wanted to discuss, which is a little bit more about me, but I also think I could. I've talked to you a fair bit about it.
I've talked enough about me. That's good.
You're an interesting character, so there's a lot to talk about. What do you think of my coming trip, and what do you think of my future as well? In that, what do you reckon I'll get up to in the next couple of years, or if you were to have any predictions or anything?
Yeah. So, mate, let's start with where you're at right now. So, as you know, Alice and I both are sort of believers in the whole gap year thing. But the whole point about a gap year, and I reckon it's a great idea, but you've actually got to do something with it, make it worthwhile, not just sit around and be unmotivated or whatever. So I guess it's fair that...
Yeah, you are a supporter of this. I'll just quickly cut in. But I thought you were pretty skeptical at times.
Definitely. I like the idea of the gap year, but I was a bit worried because, to be honest with you, and we all grow and change, and I reckon there was a point that you were less motivated. And mate, this year what's happened is you've really bloody hit your straps, and it's hard to know exactly what's driving it. But mate, we both love it. I was literally talking with Alison this morning about it. So mate, between the fact that you're working really hard at Domino's to save me money, but it's true. So you've got yourself out there, you're working really hard to make sure you save the money because you've got a plan and you need the money to be able to go and travel. Then you're doing all these videos and things and all this stuff that you love and you're passionate about and you're really committed to it and you're delivering them every week, which I reckon is awesome. Then you've got all the social stuff, you're catching up with all these people and doing all that. You're doing your gym that you're loving and then you're going and you're reading.
Not recently.
Oh, whatever, in the last week or so. And then you're reading all these books and things. So this morning you're wandering over to the park reading this book, these classic books. So mate, I look at it and Alison looks at it and I just think, wow, mate, you're really nurturing yourself. So you get doing all this bloody cool stuff. You're making sure you've got a really full and interesting life. And I love it. And to be honest, mate, part of the reason I love it is because at the same age as I say, I was bloody lying around smoking dope, unmotivated, and my mum and dad were like you.
Too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of. But actually, but I think underneath it, I wasn't actually feeling that good about things. Yeah. So mate, I look at that and I think, awesome. In terms of what you're going to do, mate, I have really no idea, and that's part of the exciting thing. So
you thought I was going to do something with people?
Yeah, I've always thought eventually you'll do something with people because you're so good with people like this right now. And it's funny what we're doing right now, this whole communication, the way you're talking to me, quote unquote, interviewing, whatever. Mate, I reckon you could do this sort of thing for a living really easily. I know you love your media in terms of the editing and the production side of things as well. So I could easily see you do any combination of it. And the nice thing is these days in life is, for you youngies, you can grow up and just do your own thing and be flexible and sort of make it up as you go. But I definitely see you doing things to do with people, communication, maybe some sort of journalism or media because that fits really easily around that. But part of the fun about being a parent is you don't know. But what I love is I can see that you're really I know that you're going to take your opportunity because you're doing that this year with the gap year. You're making every step a winner. And I can sort of see, because the funny thing is this is all about personal habits and things, and you're gradually developing these really good personal habits. And what it means is you're going to put yourself in position that over the next few years, you're just going to keep growing and evolving and you'll take your opportunities and do awesome shit.
I love that. Yeah. It's just so interesting because you can speak from such experience. I've always kind of thought, well, this is a notion that's come into my head a bit more recently, in that just people who are older, without a fact, someone who is older, so for instance, my grandma, are just without a fact going to be more wise than you. They've been on this earth she's been on this earth for 3 times the amount of time I have. There is nothing that could change the possibility of just her being more wise and having more experience and therefore more knowledge. Yeah. So I just think, it's because I can't have that sort of confidence in my own abilities and my own
No, I understand.
future, whereas you can speak from experience, so I guess you can feel a little bit more.
I get that. Although the funny thing is, and I agree, although the funny thing is you can also be wise in your own ways. So, mate, you're already wise in some ways that I'm probably not and so, for instance, your interaction skills. So I'm good at interacting with people, but you've got a subtlety about it, and you read people really well, and you're really good at the balance of speaking and listening, and from a very young age. And that's something that you've just been born really strong and wise, and almost like, you've had that from past lives, or, there you go, there's another whole subject. But all I'm saying is we're all wise in different things. You know what I mean? And that's cool.
Cool. And more specifically with the travel part, did you wish you did that when you were younger, maybe, or you don't think you were ready for it?
Actually, no, I did a little bit about the same stage, actually.
Did you?
I went almost exactly the same age.
At 18?
19. So I went with my brother Jono. So I did 1 year of uni, and then I did almost exactly what you're going to do. So Jono and I, we were actually living in England with mum and dad because they were taking a year over there. But then we went off for 3 months to Europe. So it's almost exactly what you're going to do.
And so
and backpacking and hostels and the difference was, so I was with Jono, and he was probably more the leader because he was a bit more confident. And back at that age, as I said, I was a bit more insecure, not as confident. My younger brother, but mate, we had a ball. So I know exactly the sort of shit you'll be doing. You'll have a lot of fun. From my own memories of it, I remember now and again also being a little bit lonely or a little bit unsure of what I was doing. I assume it'll be a bit the same for you, but again, you're a bit more confident and further down the track than me. But it's just one of those growth experiences, mate. You put yourself out there, and what I love is you will come back. I was only talking to friends the other day. You will come back much more experienced about the world, much more knowing how to live your life, much more independent, and all that stuff is going to be awesome. It's going to set you up. So I just reckon it's an absolutely amazing opportunity to just go out and spread your wings. So I love it.
And so, I think finally, because we've rambled on a fair bit, but then from looking at your own trip when you went overseas when you were 19, and just guess from your own life in general, what advice would you have for me, but just more particular in anyone maybe looking to go and travel in their younger years and not really having any idea what they necessarily want to do further on down the track?
So what advice in terms of what?
Well, how would you best tackle going on a gap year and on traveling in particular? What advice would you give? What did you learn when you went traveling? Do you have any ideas?
Mate, I think you're approaching it really well. So what did I learn? To be a little bit open to things. So, for instance, if you meet a couple of people and they're going here, and nice people, just say yes. I remember we met this Swedish couple and they were going here there, so we followed them and ended up going back to their place with them, and they were cool. So part of it's just about, just going with the flow, being open-minded. As I said, being prepared to be, and again, I don't know about you, but I was a little bit lonely and this and that now and again, so it wasn't always super fun. Now and again, maybe had times where it was not as exciting and you're on your own a bit, maybe even missed home a bit, and that's okay too, so giving yourself permission for that to be all right. I guess now with the benefit of hindsight, it's just really grabbing it by the horns and getting everything you can out of it. So, making sure you really get out and explore. Mate, you might want to do the monuments and shit, or maybe you don't care about that. It's all about the people, but whatever it is that you want to get out of it, it's making sure that you really soak it up and really live it and take every opportunity. So, and other than that, mate, I guess it's just about having fun. And just looking at it as an awesome experience. And I'd probably not much more advice than that. I reckon you'll do it really well.
Cool. All right, is there anything else you feel like discussing, or? Nah,
no, I just want to tell you I love you very much, mate. I'm very proud of you. And I'm really excited to see who you come back. Mate, it's not like you're going to come back a different person, but you would have grown and changed. I'm really excited to share that and to see what you do, and then to, see what impact it has on your life. And I reckon it's a really cool stepping stone. So well done.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks for coming on.
Love you, buds.
Love you very much. Anyway, we will see you. Oh, well, I will see you. Unfortunately, you won't, but I will see you next week, same time as per usual if I'm not slacking. And have a good rest of the day.
Rock on, hipsters.